The hilltop overlooking the ocean did not look like the place where hope and history rhyme, where an old prophecy would be declared to have come true, where the long arc of history had bent towards justice. On that morning of October 17th, 2024, about 3 dozen of us stood where last year's green grass, after turning gold at the end of the rainy season, had faded to a dull tan during California's long dry season. The earth looked parched. To the north of us, the hills sloped steeply downward into a creek that, as it reached the ocean, turned into an estuary, a tidal zone where fresh and saltwater meet. To the east of us, farmland and pastureland spread for miles. A strong, steady wind came from the Pacific, clearing the air and making it hard to hear people speak, but they spoke. We stood about 60 miles north of San Francisco on 466 acres of ranch land that had been in the hands of white people since the 19th century, newly purchased by the Western Rivers Conservancy and handed back to the Federated Indians of Grayton Rancheria to care for in perpetuity, and Grayton tribal members were present. This place, rising from the south bank of San Antonio Estero, was one of many sites of land back that year, the return of land in North America to its original stewards. Environmental organizations and government departments tasked with land management had, in recent years, begun to recognize that Indigenous stewardship and leadership were among the best ways to restore and protect the land. Indigenous groups had long advocated for that protection and the restoration of their rights. Also that October of 2024, a few hundred miles north along the California coast, the biggest dam removal in U.S. history had just been completed, the result of decades of campaigning by local tribes and other supporters of a free-flowing river. 4 dams had come down on the 263-mile-long Klamath River. The land that emerged from the stagnant waters behind the dams is being restored and replanted with thousands of young trees and literal tons of native plant seeds by tribal governments that live up and down this great salmon river that had been choked and stifled for more than a century. Chinook salmon, stopped for that damned century from completing their journeys to their ancient spawning grounds, had surged upstream almost immediately. The day before we gathered on that hilltop, the first salmon in more than a century had swum the Klamath's sinuous route through northernmost California, all the way to Oregon. "It's amazing," said Ron Reed, a fisherman from the Karak tribe. "That's what we've prayed for," he told a newspaper.